Good morning, everyone. I am Isabella for Planet Pathlinks, and this week we are talking about color and how it relates to our magical practices and how we use color. My topic was on color in visualization and its uses. I am very big into the use of color into my practice because it also falls into one of my natural gifts. I see things in color even when I do Reiki, and I can even see the energy patterns running through the person at the time. I can see the energy patterns when I'm receiving Reiki that I'm experiencing in this other place that I go when I am in that trance-like state that comes from um, the Reiki healing practices. Now, that very much relates to magic and anyone's practice as well, because those same influences are exactly what we are using and manipulating in our magic. It's everybody tends to know about the choosing of maybe your altar cloth, candles that you might use, um, items to trigger certain thought processes in your magic work. Like if you were going to do prosperity for yourself, if you were going to look for a money spell, generally you would start with green, but you might also start with, or not just start with, but add gold or silver because they represent actual um, metal colors that belong into that same money type prosperity spell that you might be performing. So there are other type colors that you can use, but you're using it as a trigger for your magic work. So in visualization, you might empower your thought process, the energy that you're using to build and perform the magic itself. You would use that color ray basically on coming from your power, your personal power. Now, visualization also can be like if you were doing a protection bubble around yourself. A lot of times you will put a bubble around you and fill it with the color light that is representing the energy that you are looking for at that time. Maybe you just want to calm down. So you envision that bubble, and maybe it's a soft pink, or maybe it is a buttery yellow, or maybe it is the color of your goddess. Maybe it is silver that represents the divine feminine. Maybe it is a golden light that is more of a protection from the God side, the masculine. You can do this and you can engulf yourself in any color uh, of light by way of visualization, and it will bring about the attributes and vibrations of that color to you to trigger whatever it might be. Some people say it's the mind, some people say it's the universal energy. Doesn't really matter where it comes from, just the fact that it works. So I use color all the time for those kind of workings. But in healing work or chakra work, which the chakras are very definitely associated and linked to certain colors. So if you're doing, like a root chakra work because of you may have some basic survival type situations that you need to deal with, maybe say in shadow work, you could use the red in the emanations of the red light, but maybe you wouldn't use red. Maybe you need to infuse your red chakra with a softer energy of self-love, of pink. Maybe you are linking it to the chakra that it's also associated with, because the first and seventh chakra are um, they're opposites that work well together, and so they're pathways to each other. And so sometimes you'll infuse the crown chakra energy into the root chakra to help heal and balance it out. So there's lots of ways to use color as visualization. Um, if you I can't go into all the chakra work because that would just be a way too long video, on top of talking about how I use color in what I do. Um, but it's very interesting in trying to heal damaged chakras in your system to try to use color therapy for that. If you need um, maybe you are someone who can't stand up to a particular person in your life, and you need to firmly ground yourself and have the willpower to say no to somebody, then maybe you need to infuse yourself with the color yellow that is associated with your will center, so that you can stand tall and hold your ground and be able to have the confidence to back your words up so that they don't talk you into something that you're not wanting to do. Just kind of like somebody trying to dump a lot of stuff on you and make it your problem or that kind of thing. Then yellow would be a great color to wear. Maybe you can make vibrational water to drink. Maybe you can wear yellow stones that represent. There's all kinds of ways to incorporate the color into your magic work to help you better your life and day-to-day decisions. A lot of people say, oh, you don't have to practice magic every single day to be, well, you don't have to practice magic every single day. But if you use magical techniques every single day, your life will be better, because you'll be able to do things that maybe you lack the willpower or the confidence of any other way. But you are fully confident in your magical powers, and when you apply the techniques, like wearing a certain stone, like if you're wearing a golden amber on you, it is a protection. Generally, amber is considered very protective of you. It becomes like a protective amulet of yourself, and you have more confidence walking into the real world out there while wearing this particular colored stone. Um, Because I'm also into energy healing, energy work, predominantly Reiki, but other modalities as well, color therapy becomes a very big part of what I do, because I see those things in color. Reiki, like, exploded that ability in me. Um, It's not that I see auras on people when I'm not doing Reiki, but I do see the auric colors, and I see where the color is missing, where it needs to be more activated. You see where, like, cold dead spots in the body where there's issues. You can feel the heat and intense, and you can see like red embers almost, where there is an inflammatory problem going on. A lot of different things like that activate in me. So my intuitive healing practices tend to bring a lot of color into my world. And I incorporate Reiki energy and those other healing modality energies that I've learned to work with in my magic practice as well. And I use my magical ways that I have discovered to raise energy and vibration in my healing modalities. They are so interconnected and entwined with each other that I can't separate the two. Um, there is a vibrational water technique that I use, and how I do that, I'm going to back off the camera because I have it set up directly behind me so that y'all can see a small place where I actually perform the charging of this water. And all I've done is take 3 containers that represent color that has a vibration of what I am trying to accomplish. I have a green one for personal prosperity, and when I use the term prosperity for myself, I don't necessarily mean in monetary terms. Prosperity to me is success, it is abundance, and that means abundance of a lot of different things in my life, not just monetary goods type thing. So I try to do one for prosperity. I also try to do one for self-love because I think that we can be our worst critics, and I am no exception to that. I can be my worst critic for myself, and so self-love becomes a very big one as well. And then I have one for healing, which all 3 of these things work hand in hand to me, but I've also combined it with a color of a candle that also is working chakra work. So I have one for my will center, the 3rd chakra. I have one for my heart center, the 4th chakra, and I have one for the 5th chakra as well too. And I have laid stones in between each of these waters and these candles to amplify the effects and have that also put into this water that I'm working. So I'm going to pull down the camera so that y'all might be able to see it a little bit better and push this towards here. So this one is the green vibrational water. I have my large charging crystals that I use for laying in between each one of these candles to the water itself. I have rose quartz in between the waters to also amplify. I have copper also in it for a magnification, and I have Priscola as well in there, and some ammonite and some few other things for the work that I'm doing. Now, each one of these candles, when I start lighting them and running the water, and then for each day, this is the water I will be drinking tomorrow. It will charge most of the night, and then I will drink it. And I will be drinking in the vibrations and the intent. I also use Reiki to infuse the waters and the candles for my working. And I'm doing something a little bit different this time. A lot of times I will put chips of certain, like I've put aventurine in here before, rose quartz in my pink water, and I've put turquoise and several other kinds of different stones in the healing realm in the blue water. But this time I have made a different water, and in the pink, this is Frankincense Water. Now, I put it in the pink because I'm doing this for self-love and working it. And this one, you're not supposed to drink a whole lot of the frankincense water at a time if you're not used to doing so at first. So it'll just be an ounce or two at a time, and I'll be drinking this, and this will be another form of a healing water. Now, this is one of my ongoing uses of color that I do on a fairly regular basis. So this is the use of colored stones, the colored containers to infuse the color into the water, the colored candles, and then I oftentimes will use other kinds of colors because it triggers a certain response in me as well. On my invoke altar, I have a particular thing I did this time. Show you that as well. And I placed on a silver tray, I got a heart-shaped large bowl from Dollar Tree. All of this actually came from Dollar Tree. I used the heart-shaped bolts, and I have it for mind, body, and soul here to heal the missing, pull the pieces together and be a whole as one. And I placed pink stones underneath it that are also heart-shaped underneath. So when I look at this, it to me visualizes something about pulling all the elements together and working as one in unity in myself. Pulling together the aspects of my body and thinking of it as my temple, keeping my mind clear, so because it affects and influences everything to do with the body, and that in turn also influences and knows whether or not the soul is going to be healthy or damaged from the things that we're doing to our body, our mind, and our soul. So this is really representative of how I pull it all together for a mind, body, and soul kind of thing, when the pieces together of myself. It was really just a meditative work. Not sure that you would actually call that so much magic. It is actually, but it's just another way I use color in my workings. Um, on my altar, I also have represented a red candle and a blue candle that I have in front of my deity representations on the altar. And the reason fire and water colors are on there is because Imbolc is very much an energy of fire and water. It is bringing back the sun's fire and melting the ice and snow. So much ice and snow in South Texas, but it is part of the process of Imbolc, is turning the ice to water again. Pisces is also very heavily involved in this time too, because somewhere through Aquarius, the water bearer, and Pisces, the fish, the snow will start to melt and spring will be on its way. So those two signs also help bring in the new season. So I can't think of magic that I could do without color. Of course you can. Sometimes if I don't have a lot of the visual cues, like say I'm out of the different color candles that I would prefer to use, I will use white candles because those candles are more neutral, to where I can infuse whatever vibration I want into those. But I do prefer using the color candles because I don't have to Labor is hard about the infusion of the intent. It immediately triggers my mind to exactly the energy that I'm using. Some of the other colors that I'm using for in bulk were actually the colors that are also associated with Mardi Gras. Now, I use that as my personal prosperity for the upcoming year. And I have the colors of Mardi Gras around a large center bowl that I'm using for my cauldron, basically representation on my in bulk altar. That cauldron, I am doing um, the Trinket 5 spell work, where you place 3/4 in the cauldron every day for um, 5 to 7 days. You can do the spell for as as much as you want. You can also start doing it once a week after you perform the initial spell. I did do the Trinket 5 in a biophilic alternative video. If y'all want that, just ask for it, and I can put the link down below. Um, but the Trinket 5 is something, and it's to grow my personal prosperity for the year as well. Since in bulk is a time of doing spell work and divination for the future of the immediate future of yourself and your family and the home, it was very much represented to how your next year was going to go. So that's the kind of things that I use in the color. I will use color in a lot of different things. If I'm making oils that tend to be for very specific things, like um, I have an oil that I make that I use and I place in my making of my holy water, and that water is a pale pink. It has got a lot of rose in it. The pink comes from the rose petals themselves that I infuse into the water. So, but I'm very much putting the rose in there for two reasons. The color is one of the reasons. Prosperity oil, I will place certain herbs in there that are very green in nature, and they turn the oil a light green. I use grapeseed oil in my prosperity oils because it is normally a light green. Also, certain extra virgin olive oils will also be green in color, and I will choose that oil versus a different oil just because of the color involved in it. Not just the attributes that the oil will give, but also the color. The color has a lot to do with the visual of knowing exactly what it is, what its purpose is, and activating that thought process in your brain to help the spell move forward. So um, there's also another way that color visualization works in healing, and that's called the seven healing rays. Those seven healing rays are also associated with the seven um, ascended masters and or archangels in each one of these rays. And those rays tend to bring certain awareness, but they don't always correspond to the seven chakra colors. They are the same colors, but sometimes they're in a mix of what you would think. Um, the first ray is not considered red; it is considered a different color. So believe it's blue. So you can look at color therapy, color vibration in so many different ways. And you don't have to use the traditional correspondences that you'll find because it's about what it's bringing to you. Like if I throw purple into a prosperity spell, it's because I think of the the purple color of royalty, of richness, of affluence. So I may be putting that purple color in there with the green for other reasons that still bring about a very um, simpatico relationship with each other that triggers something in my mind. It doesn't have to be, there's no right or wrong for whatever triggers it for you. If you feel safety and security wrapped in a red robe, then red is the color that you use for that, like maybe protection. Whereas other people might use a totally different color for it. So it's really about your associations with color, where your memories come from. Um, if you had a special blanket or a special thing, whatever it might have been, that color of that may be the color that you associate with your safety and well-being. These are the kind of things that color is so fantastic, is that there is no right or wrong way to use color. It is used as one more layer, one more tool in your magic to make it stronger and penetrate the emotional and vibrational essence of what you're trying to put out into the universe and the work that you're trying to do, whatever it may be. Whether it be personal healing, healing for others, whether it be spell work, whether it be altar work, whether it be honoring your deity, it doesn't matter. It just lends a deeper richness to everything that you do. And it is exactly why we do it in our homes, in our environments. We put our favorite things, our favorite colors all around us every day, and it is part of the healing process. Color therapy and color vibration also, they've done so many studies on it, and it even has a science behind it that has been proven time and time again, the influences of color on our psyches. They've done studies in prisons where they will experiment painting different colors in different cell blocks to see what happens. When they paint the walls red, there is more rioting, there is more fighting, there is more turmoil in the cells amongst the inmates. But when they paint the walls pink or pale blue, they have more peace and harmony in the prison system, and very seldom is there a fight breaking out. So governments are even understanding the use of color has everything to do with how we feel and act and move beyond. Advertising uses color very effectively on us as well. So color is just, an artist knows color and feeling. What they put in a painting is to invoke an emotional response in you. And that's exactly how you should see it in your working. And you should pay attention to how you respond to the different colors that you use around you, because that has a lot to do with your own outlook, your own vibration, and the success of your magic. So that's all I really needed to say on that, but I hope that y'all continue watching Planet Pathlings, and if y'all have any questions about any of our topics that we cover, please feel free to send us some kind of message, whether it be on the comment section of our videos, or whether it be come joining us on the Facebook page. But anyway, y'all have a very blessed day, and I will catch you next week. Bye.